Love, career, and finances are calling for expansion in your life right now. You are being called to grow beyond what you are normally familiar with, especially when it comes to love. So I'm imagining a timeline where this has already happened for you. I am seeing a timeline where you have tripled your income from where it is now. You have come into partnership that is so secure and just so warm. It's like you just know that this person has you. And you feel fulfilled in the work that you do. You've finally found your rhythm. You have found your flow. There's also a creative passion that you are going to be exploring and diving deeper and deeper into. There's definitely the energy of commitment coming through for all of this. So as far as what your life looks like in this reality, your mornings feel easy. Like you wake up in the morning and you're no longer questioning what you're supposed to do next. You're no longer wondering when this person is going to be here, because your person is right next to you. And you know that you get to move through your day and get ready for what it is you love the most. Like you genuinely love what you do, and you get paid handsomely for this work, right? And so walking through a normal day in this reality, what you notice first when you wake up is the stillness. You're no longer reaching for this life. You're embodying it. You're no longer hoping for something to come in for you or someone to come in for you. It's all around you. Like you can feel the peace. You can feel the peace of your partner's breathing while they sleep next to you. And then when they wake, they pull you into them. And you just notice how soft everything feels, like how calm everything feels in this reality. And your body feels different. Your body feels more at ease, lighter, yet at the same time, it just feels safer, which is something that you're not familiar with. Usually, like you might have carried extra weight throughout your life because it was never safe for you to be seen, safe for you to be soft and light and vulnerable. And so it just feels easy to trust now, to trust that you are safe, to trust that you are taken care of, to trust the person next to you, that they are here for you, that they are not going anywhere, that your life is going to continuously just become brighter and brighter. I don't know that you've ever experienced that in love, and where what you're doing for your work is just so secure and it's growing. I'm talking like 2x, 3x income. And not because you're doing more, but because you finally feel safe enough to relax and receive. And you feel joyful more often than anything else. You feel bliss. You feel like happy. And when you do feel sad or when you do feel angry, you no longer fear that that person is going to leave, or that your work is going to be disrupted, or that your finances are going to be interrupted. It's as if you literally have space to feel all of your emotions. And you finally come home to this feeling of, it's a step beyond peace. It's as if you just know yourself. Like you know who you are. You know your place in this world, like your role in this world. You feel like you are in rhythm with this world. And you feel powerful in your energy. You feel confident. Like you can literally go anywhere and meet anyone and know exactly who you are. Like you can't be pulled outside of yourself anymore. You feel like a leader of your life. You feel as if you have authority over your life. You feel in control of your choices and of your own, it's like your body and your mind, and that allows you to actually like witness life happening for you. It allows you to welcome in the blessings that life wants to give to you. Life wants to bless you in this timeline. And so if you resonate with this energy, I'm going to keep diving into this. We've moved through 2 phases of this 7 phase portal expansion, so soul expansion portal. I'm going to keep diving in deeper. We're going to discover who you've become. We're going to discover how this person shows up for you in this reality. We're going to discover how they speak to you, how you feel with them, how money is flowing to you now, how you're showing up in your work. We're going to dive into just noticing where all of this is unfolding for you and what you can kind of observe to let you know that you are on this path and in alignment with this reality. So this is a soul expansion portal. If you would like to dive in deeper, as I said, I'm going to be posting this inside the Angel Archetype Society comment portal, and I will send you the details for how to join. If you would like to join the live soul expansion portal gathering that is happening this evening, that is also available inside the Angel Archetype Society. You are actually going to dive into the details of how your life is unfolding, what this highest timeline looks like and feels like, and everything that you can expect with your person, everything that you are going to be receiving financially, and just how you are going to be showing up in your life in this position of leadership. So you can always click the link in my bio, but comment portal and I will send you the details if you feel called.
Dear soul, if you have just until this moment, I truly believe it wasn't by accident. These words found you for a reason. Don't let this message become just another video you watched. Let it become a turning point in your heart. Right now, wherever you are, speak these words out loud with faith. I am chosen. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is writing a beautiful story through my life. My breakthrough is coming in His perfect time. Say it again, and then one more time. Let every word sink into the deepest places of your heart. Allow God's peace to silence every fear, every doubt, and every lie that has tried to convince you that you were abandoned. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Heaven has been walking beside you every step of the way. Hold on to this promise as you step into the days ahead. Even when you cannot see what God is doing, He is already working behind the scenes. Every delay has a purpose. Every tear has been seen. Every prayer has been heard. And when the right moment comes, what God has prepared for you will be more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. If this message has spoken to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Somewhere, someone is fighting a silent battle. Someone is losing hope. Someone is praying for a sign that God still sees them. Your share could be the answer to that prayer and the reminder that they are deeply loved and never forgotten. And if God places it on your heart to support this ministry, you can do so through a super thanks. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or any amount you feel led to give, your generosity helps us continue sharing messages of hope, healing, and God's unfailing love with people around the world who desperately need encouragement. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for standing with this mission. I pray that God blesses you beyond anything you could ask or imagine. May He restore what has been lost, open doors no one can shut, fill your home with His peace, and reward your kindness, a 100-fold according to his perfect will. Together, we are building a family of faith where hearts are healed, lives are restored, and people are reminded that God's love never fails. They have been loving you in silence, but the silence is almost over. Some feelings don't announce themselves. They don't arrive with fanfare or immediacy or the kind of bold declaration that makes for a good story later. They arrive quietly, settling into someone's chest like something that was always meant to be there. So gradually the person carrying them barely notices the accumulation until one day they look inward and realize, oh, this is enormous. When did this become so enormous? That is what has been happening inside this person for longer than you probably know, longer than they have said. In the quiet, private interior of someone who has been watching you, not obsessively, not with any agenda, but with the slow, deepening attention of someone who keeps finding more to admire every time they look. They have been in love with you quietly, patiently, and with a fullness that has finally reached the point where silence is no longer the easier option. Something's about to change. But they have been watching. Before we get to what they're about to say, it's worth understanding what they have been seeing all along. Because this is not the kind of feeling that was born in a single moment of attraction. This grew. It was cultivated almost unknowingly by repeated exposure to who you actually are. They have watched the way you treat people. The generosity that isn't performed for an audience but simply exists as a baseline line of how you move through the world. The understanding you extend to others, not because you're trying to be impressive, but because patience and empathy seem to be the natural language your heart speaks. The way you carry yourself, not with arrogance, not with performance, but with a quiet, grounded confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. These are the things that built what they feel. Not a single striking moment. 100 small ones layered over time, each one adding something to a picture that has become clearer and clearer until now it is undeniable and complete. And the picture says, this is the person I want. The luck you don't know you carry. Here is something this person has noticed that you may have never thought to notice about yourself. Things get better when you're around. Not in a supernatural, inexplicable way, but in the very real, observable way that happens when someone with genuinely positive energy enters a space. Since knowing you, this person has felt, and they would probably struggle to articulate this if pressed, that their life has had a different quality to it. More fortunate, more alive. more full of the particular kind of possibility that makes waking up feel worthwhile. They describe you, internally, as lucky. Not in the passive sense of someone who happens to have good things happen to them, but in the active sense of someone whose presence makes the environment around them more fertile. Things grow near you. Situations that felt stuck begin to move. The energy in a room shifts when you enter it. You probably don't see this in yourself. Most people who carry this quality are the last ones to recognize it because it feels ordinary to them. It's just how they've always been. But from the outside, from the vantage point of someone paying close attention over a sustained period of time, it is remarkable. It is one of the things this person finds most quietly astonishing about you. You make their world bloom just by being in it. A connection that goes deeper than the surface. What this person feels is not simply romantic interest in the conventional sense, the kind that sits comfortably on the surface and doesn't ask too much of anyone. What they feel has grown roots. It has reached down into the deeper levels of compatibility. Values, vision, the shared understanding of what a life well lived actually looks like. They have imagined a future with you. Not vaguely, not as a passing daydream, but with the specific, grounded clarity of someone who has thought carefully about what they want and recognized that what they want is what you represent. Common goals, common values. The sense that two people could build something together that neither of them could build quite as well alone. This goes beyond you're attractive and I enjoy spending time with you, though both of those things are true. This is the deeper register of feeling, the kind that says, I can see who we could become together. I can see the life we could make. And it looks right to me in a way that I can't explain and don't need to. There is something spiritual in how they describe the connection, a sense of being matched at a level that exceeds logic or calculation. Like two things that were designed to fit together, finally finding their way into proximity. Not as a belief imposed from outside, but as something felt from within, consistently, every time they are near you, or think of you, or allow themselves to imagine what could be. The overthinker behind the composed exterior, but here is where this story becomes deeply, recognizably human. Because this person who feels so certain about you, so clear about what they want, is completely unraveled when it comes to figuring out how to say any of it. They are overthinking significantly. Probably more than anyone around them would guess, given the composed exterior they tend to present. In the quiet moments, and there have been many quiet moments lately, because they spend a lot of time with their own thoughts, and their thoughts keep finding their way back to you. They are running through scenarios, rehearsing words, drafting approaches, considering how much to say and in what order and in what tone and at what moment. They know what they feel. They just don't yet know how to hand it to you without dropping it, because you matter to them in a way that makes the stakes feel high. And when the stakes feel high, the fear of doing it wrong becomes something that sits heavy in the chest and makes even the simplest things feel enormously complicated. They don't want to overwhelm you. They don't want to underwhelm you. They want to get it right the first time, in the right words, in a way that actually conveys the size and the sincerity of what they've been carrying. And the fact that they care this much about getting it right is itself a form of love, even before the words arrive. The weight of missing you here is the part of this story that shifts the tone, the part that reveals, more than anything else, how real and how deep this has become. This person has been sad without you, not in a performative, dramatic way, in the quiet, interior way that only happens when something is genuinely absent that your life had built itself around. They have been withdrawn, reflective, spending more time alone than usual, thinking, missing your laugh specifically, the particular sound of it, the way it changes something in the atmosphere when it happens. Missing the specific quality of your presence, the way it makes everything feel more alive and more possible. Missing you in the way that confirms, if any confirmation were needed, that what they feel is not casual or surface level. They would wait for you. That sentence carries more weight than it might initially seem. Genuine patience, the kind that comes not from passivity, but from the deep certainty that something is worth waiting for, is one of the rarest qualities a person can bring to love. And this person has it when it comes to you. Not because they are without options, not because they have nothing else to turn toward, but because having experienced what it feels like to be connected to you, everything else feels insufficient, smaller, less, and they would rather wait for the real thing than settle for a lesser version of what they now know is possible. The deep realization here is the insight that lives at the center of everything this person has been experiencing, the one that has been forming slowly over months of quiet observation and private feeling, and has now become impossible to deny. Love that has been earned through genuine knowing is different from love that arrives quickly. It is more specific, more durable, more honest. This person did not fall for a projection of you. or an idealized version, or the you that exists only in peak moments. They fell for the actual you, the everyday, consistent, authentic version that shows up the same way whether or not anyone is watching. They have had time to see the whole picture. And the whole picture is what they chose. That is not a small thing. That is perhaps the most significant kind of love there is. The love that has been tested by time and proximity and the inevitable ordinariness of real life, and has only deepened rather than dimmed. The respect that makes this safe. And here is what makes this particular person and this particular love safe to receive. They understand that love is not something you can impose on another person. They understand that your choice matters, that who you give your heart to is a decision that belongs entirely to you, and that any love worth having must be offered freely and accepted freely, or it is not really love at all. It is something else, something less. If you were to say no, truly, clearly, without ambiguity, this person would honor that. Not with bitterness, not with pressure, not with the kind of persistent pursuit that crosses the line from devotion into disrespect. They would step back, they would grieve privately, and wish you well and respect your decision because they respect you, which is, of course, the whole point. And this is important. You have complete agency here. The ball is in your court in the truest sense. This person is coming to you not to demand or to persuade or to wear you down, but to offer. To present what they feel with as much honesty and care as they can manage, and then to wait respectfully without pressure for whatever you choose to do with it. That kind of offering is rare. The kind that comes without conditions attached, without the expectation of a specific outcome, without the implicit pressure of you owe me this because of how much I feel. Just an open hand, extended, holding something real. What you have also been feeling, but here is the part of this story that belongs to you. The part that has been sitting quietly in your own chest while all of this has been building on the other side. You have felt this too. Maybe not in the same words, maybe not with the same certainty. Maybe as something more like a question than an answer. But you have felt connected to this person in a way that you haven't been able to fully dismiss or explain away. There has been something, a pull, a recurring sense that this individual occupies a particular place in your life that others don't quite fill. That feeling is not random. It is not your imagination working overtime or wishful thinking, finding a convenient object. It is information. It is the quiet, reliable intelligence of your own heart telling you something worth paying attention to. The stars are aligning. Not metaphorically, in the very real sense that two people who have been carrying something toward each other are finally, after all the internal processing and careful consideration and quiet longing, approaching the moment where it comes into the open. The conversation that is coming a moment is approaching. Not a perfect cinematic moment, but a real one. The kind where someone takes a breath and decides that the risk of saying the true thing is finally, definitively smaller than the cost of staying silent. This person is going to come to you with words they have been arranging and rearranging for longer than you know, with feelings they have been carrying long enough that they have become part of who they are, with a genuine, grounded, quietly profound desire to build something with you that actually lasts. And when that moment comes, when they finally say the thing they have been preparing to say, I hope you hear not just the words, but the weight behind them, the months of quiet observation, the patience, the respect, the certainty that grew not from a moment, but from a sustained, honest knowing of who you actually are. That is the kind of love that changes things. That is the kind of love worth letting in. And it is already quietly on its way to your door.